Her face is forever etched into my memory. Every inch of it is clear. The concerned look she always had in her eyes, the hair pulled back neatly in a bun to prevent the hair from falling during work, and that calm, heartwarming smile. We all have that one special person who we love from the bottom of our hearts, whom we want to protect. That special person who has had a great influence in our life, and that one person whom we strive to be like. For me, that special person is my grandmother, Usha Sridhar. She was the most hardworking, supportive, most optimistic person I knew. Even now, when you walk into my grandmother's house, you can hear the distant sound of the sweeping brooms and the clang of the dishes. My grandmother was almost always cooking or cleaning. Even when she was sick, she would pop in some herbal medicines and would stubbornly get back to work. One time she fell and hurt her ankle very badly. However, all she did was get an ankle brace and continue to work, with small breaks in between. House chores aren't the only thing that kept my grandmother occupied during the day. She would also do many things for the family and individuals. My grandmother was the one who did all the shopping for groceries. In India, you don't use cars much, so my grandmother would walk every day to the market and bring back food for us. Every year when I came to India, she would be there holding a new set of dresses for me, and she would get them stitched for me. It was not an easy task, especially at her age. She was always working hard to keep others happy. As a child, I loved to set fireworks and do sparklers, so she would buy me bags and bags of fireworks so that I could play with them. My grandmother was always keeping other people's interests in mind when she was working. I've never seen someone who cares for others more than her. She helps everybody regardless of who they are. She helps people when they face difficulties in life. For example, when the vegetable vendor cut off his finger, my grandmother would go every morning just to help him cut his vegetables until he learned how to do it himself. She adjusts her ways to fit others rather than forcing others to change for her. When my grandfather lost almost all of his ability to digest sodium, my grandmother had to stop putting salt in all of her cooking. My grandmother would always complain that the food didn't have salt, but for almost 5 years, she ate saltless food for the sake of my grandfather. When I caught the stomach bug, my grandmother took time out of her household duties to sit and play with me. She told me stories and taught me how to play solitaire, a game which she played as a daily ritual in the evening. Even when she was in the hospital, she would ask how we were doing at home and whether we were taking care of my grandfather. She wouldn't ask anything about herself and would just keep smiling. My grandmother was always an optimist. She had that unique skill of being able to pick out the good points from every bad event. A few summers ago, I lost my voice for almost 4 days. I was really upset. But my grandmother cheered me up by saying, "At least now your grandfather can't make you practice singing." It was very small, but true fact. My grandmother always knew what to say and when to say it. She would always end a conversation with a warm smile and a hug, leaving the listener happy and content. I was only able to visit my grandmother once when she was in the hospital, and when I did, she was there smiling and saying it was all right. When she did die, she died with a smile on her lips. Nobody I know can top that level of optimism. So as you can see, my grandmother was an optimistic and caring person till her very end. We have all had special people in our lives. All of them have done something or other to gain that status. For me, that person was my grandmother, whose hard work, caring nature, and optimism made others feel good about themselves. Judging by how many people came to the hospital to visit my grandmother, you can tell that she had a large impact on several people's lives. Even though those people may believe that she is gone, to me, she is still here, in a place that I like to call my heart.